Hello, everybody. We are live once again from Studio B here at the Beach Street Yacht Club. I'm your host, Tom Eamon, along with the co-host and coordinating producer, Julia Vedekind. And we have quite a show for you today. Delightful show. Lots of topics. The kind of show you like, Julie, with lots and lots of different topics.
Perfect.
You'll like it a lot. I'm sure you will. As we check in people all over the world, Alan Long, Greg Phillips, Peter Taylor, Australia, Texas, New York City, Alistair Murray up early in Sydney. Well, it's 8 o'clock. It's not early for him. He gets up at 5. Beautiful. Meetong out at his holiday house. Alistair Murray, Mr. President Emeritus of Australian Sailing. Ed Worley. Cheers, everyone. Great to be back home. Yeah. He's been driving all over Hell's Half Acres with his daughter back and forth to college, I think. Rick Bannerow, hey, my. Sailing Illustrated is here to stay. He's a poet and doesn't know it. Jody Shields, who was our esteemed guest on Tuesday, saying goodbye from Wanji. It's a hot one here, going to push 40 Celsius. Ooh. Great beer drinking weather. Joe Holtzman, greetings from cold as Park Estes. Cold as. In Estes Park, Colorado. Christopher Gillingham and Jane over in Leamington. Oh, Christopher. Peter Rechenberg in Geelong in Australia. David James across the bridge saying, yeah, Victory 83 in our video there. It was a pretty yacht. It was indeed, David. Good point. Clayton Embley in Kentucky, normally washing sails and listening to SI. Chris Fury also down in Oz at Melbourne. Morning all. Phil Yeoman. Hello, Phil. I'm here for just a few minutes. Busy day. FYI, Comanche has finished the Cabbage Tree Island race. We have a little feature on Sail Media covering that race live. Hamish Ross from Auckland, New Zealand. Good morning as I become a pensioner today.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Not happy birthday. A pensioner, Julie. He's retired. Pensioner. He's retired, Hamish Ross is.
Oh, wow.
He's retiring.
Oh, we can all visit him. He doesn't have anything else to
Andy
do.
Cox in Bermuda. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I happen to be somewhere he's going to have a dark and stormy, perhaps, in Bermuda. Ed Vitrano, the overcast and fog in Rio Vista, which is just east of us here up in the Delta, is hanging heavier than the suspense over AC 38. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are delighted to have you here for show number 890. Let's get to it. At the starting line, Hotel Foxtrot. You know what that means? HF.
HF.
Happy Friday. I changed it to International Signals, code flags.
Oh, good.
Flags, Hotel and Foxtrot, HF, Happy Friday, and Happy International People Essential to Yacht Racing Day, Julia.
Sailors.
Well, sailors, but more than sailors. Tango Yankee. You know what that means?
No.
Thank you to Super Fozy Jody Shields. Thanks for Tuesday. And he managed to work in the word testicles.
Oh, God.
Remember that?
Yes.
Which I guess is the drinking word. The gang that they have a bit of a game going on behind the scenes. If we use certain words, making fun of me, mocking me, Julia.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
hey, Julia, your phone is still pinging and tinking. Can't you hear that?
I did hear that.
I told you it was still on, and you were trying to turn it off.
Well, it's off.
Turn it off, Julia. Foxtrot uniform, not FU. That means follow-up. USA Sail GP team. I get criticized for not giving them enough ink, so I'm running a minute-and-a-half video from CEO Mike Buckley after Abu Dhabi about winning culture. That'll be interesting. Coaching Corner with John Emmett, World Sailing's town hall meeting. He filmed a video just right after that town hall meeting with Olympic stakeholders yesterday. Very interesting.
Oh, good.
Bit. AC 38 Cup date, the attempt to challenge, quote unquote, announced by American Chris Poole and his Riptide Racing. They're going to challenge, he says, via Salonika Corinthian Yacht Club. We've got the details of that. Our feature today, the WingFoil World Cup, the final event, the final showdown for 2025 in Brazil. Fozy Focus, we have JKM and BOFA. John Marshall and Vice Commodore Harrington got together for doing something interesting, a bit of a season's greetings.
Good.
We have something from Mr. Doctor and the Royal Thames 250th anniversary a couple nights ago, their gala, their ball. and the Sail Media team down in Sydney, and the Gov Cup TV team. And then Alistair Murray has submitted another AAAA in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Taser class, and they honored him too. That is, Alistair's been with that class since the get-go. And then in the last leg, I have the trailer for the new doco. Well, it's been out for 3 years now, the Buddy Malgus documentary, which is now available free on YouTube, and we'll play that trailer for you. Of course, This Day in History, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and of course, Julia,
our fantastic Fozy.
Anything else we should cover that we haven't already covered?
That's quite a bit.
You like this show because
I already like it.
You got variety. You just like the rundown. Well, we can quit. We can sign off. Call it a Friday. Ed Vitrano, we mentioned. Gordon Smith, hello, good evening to everyone. Sailing is a sport for all. Yes, my dad used to say sailing is not for anybody, it's for everybody. Greetings from BA. Jonathan Frank has flown his 777, his United Airlines 777 to BA, apparently down to Argentina. Don't cry for me, Jonathan Frank. Tier de Jong, hi from SoCal. Peter Taylor, visiting Hamish seems like a great Hamish replying to that, he says, at 65, the New Zealand government pays everyone a modest pension. So he's turned 65. Congratulations, Hamish, on being a pensioner, I guess. Margarita Marshall, the Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club question marks. Yes, Margarita, who was on this show 3 weeks ago, one of our very popular segments of late. Thank you, Margarita, again to you and your husband, John. Dark and stormy, dark and stormies are not just for breakfast. Well, they got to have a dark and stormy on a Saturday morning down in Melbourne, couldn't you, Chris? Jonathan Frank replying to Peter Taylor, would be great. A great watch party. Well, we could if we got Hamish Ross. Hamish Ross is always good value on here and on. And look at all these comments back and forth.
Yes.
Lance Burke is speculating that the people essential to yacht racing are
bartenders. It is a sailing show with the drinking problem.
The drinking show with a sailing problem. Yeah, that's Chris Poole's club. He is he's challenging. He says he hopes to challenge through the Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club. Rick Banner, you have to earn ink. Irrelevance does not produce much in the way of ink. Yes, indeed. It's hot. It's hot in Sydney. We're hearing that from Jody. We're hearing that also from Peter Stevenson. Hey, your phone is still tinkling, Julia. Give me your damn phone, and I'll turn it off, or I'll bury it. I'll bury it somewhere I'll bury it here so we can't hear it.
It's been turned off.
It's not turned off, Julia. I can still hear it tinkling. Do you know that Julia, I kid you not, those of you watching, she gets 5 or 6 texts a minute, not just from boyfriends and gentlemen callers, but from every political party, left, right, and center, because she gave once she gave $5 to somebody and $10 to somebody else and maybe $100 to somebody else, and now you're on every
major donor
list, major or otherwise, in the country. Unbelievable. And they're all texting her, Julia, your last chance to get on board with a contribution. Hamish Ross is proposing a Fozy party in New Zealand. We can crew Blakey's Old Lion, NZ, and Steinlager in one hell of a rum raid. Great plan. And then maybe we'll get we'll get Jonathan Frank, Julia, to fly your new charter plane.
Oh, what a good idea.
Huh? How's your plane coming? Have you got that plane organized, bought, chartered yet?
Sure.
Let's get that. Don't even look at politicians, James Bland says. Jay Frederick saying it only encourages them. Okay, that's the starting line.
Yes.
And that's a few of our people. David James, we're losing one of the most valuable bartenders, MVB, at St. Francis later this month. After 44 years, the most valuable bartender. Did you see his last name? I had no idea what Jesse's last name was.
Yeah, it's Boca.
Boca, it's more than that, Bocaranda or Boconda or something.
I think, yeah.
But this bartender whose phone is still making noise, even though I tried to hide it, Julia.
It's off, and
it's now off. I just put it in silent mode with a little switch on the side of your phone. You got to use, you can't just push the buttons to lower the volume. You got to push the silent switch.
I did.
No, you didn't. It was on. So Baccaro, thank you, David James. It's Jesse Baccaro is retiring after 44 years. He is one of the most pleasant human beings, helpful human beings.
Absolutely.
In the history of the yacht racing world anyway, if not beyond. So Alistair Murray is asking about Hamish's retirement. We're going to have to get him on just to explain retirement, Julie. Jody Shields, thanks again. The super sailor that he is and the sail GP expert. It was a huge help having him on the show, not only for our watch party when we did that 200 our time Sunday morning, but then on our Tuesday show when he came on again to give us analysis and insight into the ever-changing world of Sail GP. And there are people moving around between teams. We have some one here's that we'll probably do next Tuesday. I'll hold off and let people maybe announce them in the meantime. Yeah, Hamish says, you got to switch the vibrator off, Tom. Julia's got a vibrator on it. No, you just have a thing that goes ting, ting, tinkle. Yeah. Tinkle every time somebody texts you. Sandy Purdon, there is past Commodore, Staff Commodore Sandy Purdon, an esteemed leader in the community down there in San Diego. He's saying SDYC celebrating back-to-back New York Yacht Club Rolex International Regattas at 4 p.m. today. Nice thing to do, gather everybody together. And that was an amazing win, Commodore Purdon. He's better known as HP. Sandy Purdon's nickname down there, his wife, I think, gave him that nickname. HP, Sandy Purdon, terrific Commodore. And yes, we were cheering for your club in September when they won the Invitational Regatta, not the International Regatta. Jesse, David James, still on the bartender. Jesse was most surprised of all my 21st birthday, surprised of all at my 21st birthday party since he had been serving me for several years. Bombay, they want to go to Auckland. Thanks again, Jody. You were fabulous, and we really appreciated your coming on and managing to work the word testicles into his presentation.
At least
on Tuesday, Julia.
I know.
Pushing on here. Shall we push on? Julia, what are we celebrating today?
Well,
the most valuable people in
I said
yacht race. You said the bars. You said sailors. David and others said the bartenders.
Yeah.
We are celebrating International Volunteer Day, and you know something about that, having headed up the National Center for Voluntary Action in Washington, D.C., all those many years ago.
Yes.
Julia, read this for us, please.
Extending a helping hand, volunteering enriches communities, cultivates empathy, and fosters meaningful connections among individuals.
Indeed. Now, Rick Bannerow says we're celebrating bimbos. Yes, they're also volunteers, the Brotherhood of International Mark Boat Operators. And without them, Gordon Smith, we wouldn't, and particularly race committee, we would not have yacht racing. So on this International Volunteer Day, I thought it appropriate to celebrate race committee especially, and everyone else that helps put on regattas for our beloved sport. Building into the neighborhood, providing a helping hand for those who need it, gaining a sense of purpose, and working with a team are all benefits, some of the benefits that volunteers find when they get involved, which is a good point. I like it that we see on the various websites. I was looking for race committee type volunteer videos and so on.
Right.
And the emphasis that clubs are making, and classes, to say, get involved because
it's fun.
It's fun, exactly. Give something back to the sport, give something to your club, but you will have fun, you'll make new friends, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point when we're talking about volunteers.
And absolutely true.
International Volunteer Day seeks to promote and raise awareness about the vital role that volunteers play in the healthy functioning of society and people groups. What the hell are people groups? Why not just groups all around the world? And apropos, somebody who is, I've not met her, but I hear she's a cool lady, who is a volunteer at one of the big yacht clubs in Australia. Have a look at this video.
Glennis, I'm the course race officer. My journey was, I was the treasurer for the Victorian International Dinghy Association. And my partner at the time was the president, and we were creating so many different regattas because we were trying to build up the number of competitors. And we just needed volunteers on the water, and I kept volunteering. And I kept going out time and time again, and then I just kept adding to my skill set. Not only did I add to driving, first aid, becoming a club race officer, and then a state race officer, and now I'm a national race officer. The biggest thing I get out of being a race officer is that at the end of the regatta, when I can go, and the kids come up to me and say, that was really great, thank you very much, thoroughly enjoyed what you gave us out there. And I like being able to give back to a sport that's given me so much, and I try and give the best race course that we possibly can. And that's not just me, it's my team around me. And it takes more than just one person to put on a good race course. But it's giving back to, and the kids saying thank you, it was really great. Yeah.
Now, why am I not surprised that Chris Feary knows Glennis? Big exclamation point after her name in the comments, as does Alistair Murray. Glennis is a good friend and a serial volunteer. That video is at Royal Brighton Yacht Club. She what was it called? Davies Bay Yacht Club? I think it said on the Davies Bay, I think it said on the lower third below her name, but she must have been at then the Royal Brighton. Volunteers, Hamish Ross says, volunteers make a community hum. Mm-hmm. That video courtesy of Australian Sailing from a couple years ago. They make cool videos down there.
Absolutely.
Not just Nathan Outeridge's brother, Bo, but others as well. Bravo Zulu to them and to the volunteers, and we celebrate all of you around the world. Clayton Embley says that at my home club, the first person to complain is forced to sign the volunteer book immediately. Yeah. Jody Shields, I volunteer to go have a beer today. Yeah. Well, that's good. And bring everybody around you a beer, Jody. It would be a good idea. Yes. Julia, any last word on volunteerism? You having been an expert in that field, professional?
Volunteerism is a trademark of Americans and more prevalent in America than in any place else, although there are countries that use volunteers, but not to the extent that the U.S. does. Well,
I think it's growing, especially in the West, among Anglo countries particularly. It's interesting that there's a fair few volunteers. My experience having lived in Germany for 10 years there were not so many volunteers in Spain. Everybody expected to be paid on race committees and so on.
There isn't a topic or a person or a place that doesn't have a volunteer organization associated with or for it.
In the States?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe that.
I don't know. There's something like 50,000 volunteer organizations.
50,000 organizations? Mm-hmm. Well, you just look at the 84 Olympics and how that completely changed the tone for Olympic events after what Peter Ubroth did in 84 and basically ran that event with a very small professional staff and a lot of volunteers. Okay, cricket news in the second test. Gordon Smith says England have got Australia exactly where they want them. It's hilarious in the Super Fozzie thread between the Aussies and the Brits about this test that's going on. I agree with Julia. The U.S. has the best volunteering culture.
It started that way.
Well, I think it goes back to the pioneer days. Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to, when you got in a covered wagon and decided we're going west.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to move to...
Went from the 1620s in because there wasn't anybody else around to help.
Well, the American Indians, the natives were...
Yeah. And they did, in fact, sometimes
do
that.
Did. Taught the Mayflower Pilgrims and others how to grow corn, maize.
Yes.
And how to do some other things that they weren't with which they were not familiar. How's that for proper grammatical structure?
Well done.
I thought you'd think poorly of me if I ended my sentence in a preposition.
Yeah.
Big thanks. Yeah, Chris Feary, totally agree. And his wife, who's a big volunteer, who's Vice Commodore of the Sandringham Yacht Club. Big thanks to you volunteers at Sandringham next Wednesday evening. Oh, they're going to have a big thank you to them at the end of the season. St. Francis does a nice job with the thanks to the race committee.
Yep.
Do you know that New York, the other night, Claire was telling me, Vice Commodore Harrington was telling me, they have, and I'd forgotten this, and maybe it's new since, I was a member there for a long time and then resigned during the pandemic. But and I don't remember this, but they have a black tie race committee, they call it something, a race committee ball or gala or thank you, but it's a black tie thank you dinner for everybody that, literally hundreds of people that help run racing at any of these big clubs, including here at St. Francis.
Right.
Julia, I promised a video about the U.S. Sail GP team, and CEO Mike Buckley has done something on his Facebook page after Abu Dhabi on the recipe for a winning culture. I thought we should watch this.
We're constantly striving, to find that recipe for winning culture, and there's no, it's not written anywhere in a cookbook, right? It's something that when you don't have it, and then immediately when you do have it. But it's a 1 to 2 millimeter separation between the two, and so I think we talk a lot about believing in yourself, believing in your teammates, doing your job, and looking, for me, looking myself in the mirror and how can I help this team improve before I think about giving you advice on how to improve, right? And so that's something I think all great businesses and great teams, get it right more often than not, and that's what we're after. Because once you get that, you really have the ability to kind of go all in together and not be afraid to fail.
Well, what do you think of that, Julia? Not be afraid to fail. There's some irony in all this, and part of it is that I get criticized for not covering the USA Sail GP team that closely, but, until they move up the leaderboard from, I guess they finally ended the season with some positive points. I hope they did.
Yeah, I never saw that.
And we'll see what happens next season, because I think there are some, shall we say, changes in the air.
There are.
Not just H4, not just Harry Melgus IV.
Right.
Yes, thank you, Commodore Harrington. It's the race committee prom. And I saw Dawn Riley chip in too, the NYYC race committee prom. That's nice.
And she goes on further to say it's twice a year.
Oh, is it twice per year?
Once at 44th and
a second out at Harbor Court in the spring in Newport. Very nice. That was inspiring. Mike said absolutely nothing, Alistair Murray said. Bing bong. William Sangmeister is watching from over in, I presume, over in Las Vegas where he's going to school. No, William Sangmeister's in Paris. It's Jack Sangmeister who's in.
Right.
I can't keep track of the Sangmeister boys. William Sangmeister is doing a term in Paris.
American University.
Correct. Well, they're certainly not afraid to fail over there.
Oh, God.
Ed Worley, I wish the USLGP team all the best. No energy, no drive, no excuses or navel gazing. Try hard. I think they're trying hard, I think, to be fair, Ed. I think they're frustrated and trying hard. And failure, as Jonathan Frank said, especially if you're a captain and for United Airlines, failure is not an excuse. You can't fail as a pilot for United. Clay Embley, do not be afraid to fail. That would have got me out of so much trouble in grade school. Gordon Smith, there's nothing that comes out of Team USA media that means anything. A quick look at GBR or DEN highlights the difference. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to say any more. You all have you saying it in the comments, but I've now given more coverage, some more ink, to the U.S.
and more good wishes and hope
team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do give them. And Ryman says, Ted's saying, yep, they'll eventually get there, and I think they will. We've seen what happens. I mean, you put Phil Robertson on the helm.
Yeah.
For that team, and look at what they did. The Italian team suddenly they launched right.
Right.
And it is. It's about talent. It's about talent in this game of ours.
And working together.
And working together and more. Okay. John Emmett's Coaching Corner is up next. Super Fuzzy John Emmett talking about this Olympic town hall meeting that they had the other day, a couple days ago, with stakeholders, with the coaches, the sailors, talking about this format, which frankly a lot of us think is croutonic, the proposed format, which seems to be being foisted upon us, our sport, by the IOC. Shorter races, more television, and winner-take-all final race. Here's John's report. In the Coaching Corner.
Hi, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. So for people who are watching live, please do keep the comments coming, but also share to enable other people to watch it live. I've just got off the town hall with World Sailing about the format, and to be honest, it was a bit of a slow start, but it was really good to get the athletes making comments and engaging. And, you know, we're going to look back in a few years' time, and this is a life-changing situation for a lot of people. I've talked about how special the Olympic Games is and how special the result of the Olympic Games is. So the format decisions now, it's a big issue, and it's this balance between, you know, the sort of media and the quick storytelling and the consistency that's what the sport's always been. And now I don't know if it's the end of the beginning or the beginning of the end, but there's some certain key dates. So I'm just going to have to refer off camera. We've got the 10th of December, which is when the World Council is going to be looking at the events committee submission, so everything goes through a path, and at this point, you know, the recommendations have all been approved, and the testing, it's going to be Palma and Air, which are the really key Grand Slam events in Europe. And you know, I'm always encouraging athletes, whether they come from the US or Australia or from Brazil or China, you've got to make the effort and do the Grand Slams and get used to racing against the best of the best. Otherwise, you're going to find it a big shock when you get to your Class World Championships or indeed the Olympic Games. And part of it, in terms of the media requirement, is getting sailors used to that engagement in Olympic Games. And how do we look at, you know, making sailors recognisable on the water? How do we get the buy-in for non-sailors? You know, Sail JP has led the way with the ladder lines, so you can see his boat zigzag up, who's going the most upwind or the most downwind. And, you know, there's some things which unfortunately are beyond our control. I believe I got this correct now. It's a 52-minute broadcast window. So to get two races in and have, say, 6 minutes between the races to chat with your coach, drink something to eat, check the points, see what you need to do in the final race, to get two races in at, say, 14 minutes and have a prize giving award type celebration thing, 52 minutes. It's pretty hard. Having said that, from a coaching perspective, wow, 6 minutes, that seems not a lot of time. And then as soon as we get into 2027, I think we're near the end of the tunnel, as it were. I think the key thing is the storytelling of the athletes. And I think for that, you need commentators who know the sport inside out, as well as the athletes, but also to a certain extent, just to make the athletes famous, so people are interested in following them. And we have that combined World Championships in 2027, which is, I think, going to really mark what we're going to try and do for Olympic Games. And also, it's a good test for race officials and electronic starting and all these things. So as we get closer to the time, I'll try and follow what decisions are made and just keep the Fozy informed. But yeah, you look round and this time will go in the blink of an eye. So the decisions we make now are really important. I mean, close to home, I have my local sailing club choosing what marks we're going to race around. And, these little decisions last, 5, 10, 15 years. So for me, it's always about telling the story. And perhaps if we've got, 10 boats in a final, let's medal race style, they should all wear vastly different colours to make them easy to identify. But the devil is always in the detail. And I don't want to have the distraction from power. And just, finally, a quick shout out to Jazz. I don't know if she's got the opportunity to watch, but I really hope that she bounces back, as she's managed to do before. And we're all wishing her very, very well. And with that, for everybody who has the opportunity to, sail fast, sail safe, and keep having fun. Bye for now.
We should pause there because Jazz Turner has sadly suffered. Her health situation has deteriorated.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she put on, she was going to try to do a round the world thing. She did the round Great Britain thing. And her health situation, she announced on Facebook earlier this week, has deteriorated to the point where she's going to have to call off that around the world effort. Mm-hmm. And circumnavigation. And as Gordon Smith is saying, hugs to Jazz Turner, and many others have sent her. I think a bunch of us sent her greetings and best wishes for. Hopefully, she gets through this, but it is a difficult situation. So, Jazz, if you are watching, we're all thinking about you. We're all sending you our love and our best wishes, and
Indeed.
You are an inspiration for all of us in our beloved sport, right, Julia?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, John Emmett, thank you for that. The Coaching Corner. And I don't know what to say about this bloody Olympic situation. We know what's going on. We know the IOC is pushing World Sailing, who seems to be not very, to use Jody's favorite word, doesn't have the cojones to stand up to them and say, look, here's how we need to televise our sport, and then do a good job of it. And if the Sail Media Gang in Sydney can do such a good job, if the Gov Cup TV team of volunteers can do such a good job, you'd think we as a sport could figure out how to do a better job of helping the Olympic Broadcast Service, OBS, to televise our beloved sport.
Yeah.
John Emmett, Coaching Corner, get to the front of the fleet. Thank you, John. A lot of compliments again for your reportage, and again reminding us all that, speaking of jazz and others, and that event that's going on in Oman right now that we will talk further about on Tuesday. It's the Paralympic event that World Sailing is putting on, and the push again for Paralympic sailing into the 2032 games, whether as a demonstration event or we're starting to hear maybe there's still a possibility of going in as a regular event in the Paralympics.
It would be great.
And if so, that would be great. Alistair Murray, lots of love to Jazz, a total inspiration. I saw several comments, Julia, that one of the most inspiring things anyone has seen this year was when she was aground in her going around.
Yes.
And she had to get her boat, had to kedge her boat off, and she had to get out on the sand and the rocks on her hands and knees and get out to place her anchors and then winch the boat. Oh, my God. Give her full marks and more for pulling that off.
Right.
Julia, the America's Cup, everybody wants to know what's going on with Chris Poole and his announcement yesterday about a cup challenge from the States, or a potential cup challenge. And this was their release that Magnus and I and the others in the sailing media received yesterday. Riptide Racing aims for the 38th America's Cup. Riptide Racing, which is Chris's team that's been competing very well on the match racing circuit of late in the last 4 or 5 years, is excited to announce, in partnership with Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club, our attempt to challenge for the 38th America's Cup in 2027. After discussions, I'm excerpting from his release, after discussions with supporters, investors, and partners, we feel we can mount a challenge and secure enough initial backing to meet our funding timeline within the late entry deadline of January 31st, 2026, which is, as Margarita Marshall's pointing out in the comments, is $50 million. They don't need that much, but they need $7 million to file a challenge unless they get some kind of a break from Mr. Dalton, who's desperate for teams. And Margarita's saying, what about foiling experience? Is American Magic ready to sell their boats? Is Terry somehow involved? Design, tech team, base, where AC-40? Let's see. Well, those are all the questions that are coming to mind, in my mind, as I saw this roll out yesterday, Margarita. And he says, while the challenge of the America's Cup is an incredibly difficult one, we have been in discussion with the America's Cup, meaning Mr. Dalton, regarding the protocol, America's Cup partnership, and the fundamentals for entering the America's Cup. We believe the rules and protocol in place today make our challenge achievable.
And all within the framework of the deed of gift?
Well, whatever rules he thinks the America's Cup is putting up, and whether whether the America's Cup follows the deed of gift remains to be seen. Hamish Ross and I, for two, doubt that that's going to happen. And we'll see then what happens if they don't follow the deed of gift. There is the ostensible challenging yacht club, the fantastic, beautiful, historic Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club on the North Shore of Long Island, Oyster Bay, New York. It's no stranger to the America's Cup, although it has been over 100 years since Sewanaka's name last graced the America's Cup, and then not as a club, but as the name of the rule, the Sewanaka rule, which was used from 93 until 03, 1893 to 1903, as the handicapping rule that was used in the America's Cup. Quote, "We are excited to support Chris Poole and Riptide Racing in their effort to try and challenge for the 38th America's Cup. Riptide Racing has been the number one team in match racing for the past 4 years. And as we all know, the America's Cup is still a match race." Well, it's not a match race. It's a technology race that happens to be in sailboats, that happens to employ match racing as the discipline. But it is not a match race.
Yeah,
it is a technology race. So to try to play up their strength, though, I don't blame them. The club will do everything it can to support Chris and his team to get this challenge off the ground by the January 31st, 2026 entry deadline, says Sewanaka Commodore Julian Fisher. Hamish Ross says, "Bring back the Sewanaka rule." Okay, I'll go back to the comments in a sec. Let me give you the rest of what I have learned, what I've known, what some of you will also know. This is Chris and his Riptide Racing winning their second Congressional Cup. They won 2 in a row, 2023 and 2024. Superb match racer he is, and he's done well on the circuit, well enough that according to World Sailing, on December 1st of this year, he is at the top of the World Sailing Match Racer rankings. Chris is first, Eric Monin second, Yanni Berenson from Sweden, Ian Garretta, and actually Fozy Cole Tapper is in fifth, if I back away the lower third. Now, how did he do this year? That is, Chris Poole do this year? Well, he didn't have such a stellar year in the Thompson Cup in August. Let me go back to start from the bottom, and then we'll read up. But remember, in the Match Racing Worlds last year in China, he was 7th in December, and that really kicked the year off. And that's about to happen again, as you know, from having James Pleasance on the show not too long ago.
Right.
The World Match Racing Tour Executive Director. Then in the Macau Match Cup, they were 3rd. The Congressional Cup, which he has won a couple times, he was 2nd this year in 2025. Then pushing forward to June, the GKSS, the Göteborg Match Race Cup over in Sweden, they were 9th. Oak Cliff International, Dawn's event there at Oak Cliff Sailing Center, the Grade 2, he was 7th. In the Thompson Cup, which is at Sewanaka Corinthian, we covered that event, he was 2nd. So not a bad year, but certainly not a stellar year for Riptide Racing. So it's a little bit more. How are they going to raise the money, which he says is $50 million needed? To achieve this plan, we have set a fundraising goal of $50 million US for our first challenge, as we believe this will get us on the starting line in competitive form for the 38th America's Cup. Joining the fundraising effort for this campaign will be the team's partner, 501c3 Foundation. And Julie, as you know, in the U.S., a 501c3 is a charitable tax-deductible. Contributions to the foundation are tax-deductible to the extent permitted by law. But if most of these foundations are educational or to support amateur competition. And I didn't even know about this foundation. Apparently, it was previously set up to support multi-hull catamaran racing, amateur catamaran racing in this country, and it's called the American Sailboat Racing Foundation, which has supported riptide racing in past fundraising efforts. So having never heard of it, of course, I go look into it.
Yes.
You'd think poorly of me if I didn't.
I would.
The American Sailboat Racing Foundation website has no listing of leadership, no listing of a board. They do have a contact us button for an address in, I believe, Oyster Bay, and a donation button. They say that their mission is to raise the level of excellence among amateur American sailors, with the ultimate goal of preparing them to compete in national and international competitions. And Julia, as you will know, the America's Cup is anything but amateur. So how that's going to play out with the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS in this country. So I searched around some more. I went to GuideStar to see who is listed as the board. And as of November 12th, American Sailboat Racing Foundation lists a president of Jean-Pierre Blaise. The name doesn't ring a bell with me. Hugh Jones is a board member. Diane Schottenstein is listed as the secretary, and Karen Martin is the treasurer. Those names, Julia, are they familiar to you?
No.
Nor to me. So I wish them luck, and I hope they know what they're getting themselves into. But it is, as Alistair Murray says, it's hard not to be skeptical. That's one hell of a mountain to climb. Peter Taylor, who knows Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club and is an active volunteer, speaking of great volunteers, those people are all in the Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club leadership. Then Magnus the Magnificent, Julia, no surprise, weighed in this morning with a headline in his Rule 69 blog on Substack, ripping news. Ripping news, an American challenger for the Louis Vuitton 38th America's Cup, ? It might just happen. Even he's a little skeptical. There have been whispers and rumors doing the rounds in America's Cup land of late, none more so than over the pond in the U.S. Usually, reliable feeders of info suddenly went quiet or stopped just at the point of reveal. I think he meant unusually reliable, but nonetheless. But I can read tea leaves quite well, yes he can, and knew that something was up. But I'll be absolutely honest, I didn't see, this is Magnus writing, I didn't see Sewanaka Corinthian Yacht Club in my crystal ball. And I didn't see a stellar graduate of the World Match Racing Tour making the leap into the big time. So it was with a lot of interest yesterday when I got a text out of the blue from Chris Poole to let me know that a press release was incoming in a few hours and asking for my email address. Naturally, I assumed it would be that Chris would be taking it to Ian Williams in Shenzhen in China in January for the World Match Racing Tour Championship, and that this great rivalry would be something for the ages. But no, I opened the statement and suddenly a lot of things fell into place, I bet. Chris, one of the great sailors in the U.S. amongst the whole panoply. That's not the word, though. Panoply. That's
Panoply.
Panoply, thank you. Panoply of terrific emerging talent from those shores has aimed high and gone over the top with his intention to be on the start line in Naples in the summer of 2027 at the LV 38th America's Cup. Fabulous news, the intention. Naples is shaping up to be one heck of a regatta. Team announcements will come thick and fast. Thick and fast, Julia, in short order. And the build-up to the greatest show on earth, really, will begin in earnest. Hopefully, when I was running it, even I didn't call it that, and I was sometimes prone to overstatement. Hopefully, going forward, there will be more clarity and less of a void. It's been a rather deep, dark mystery of late.
Well, what I keep thinking about is my good friend Elon Musk, and he says, do it in half the time and for half as much money.
Well, exactly. And if they can do it, great. I mean, I admire Chris's enthusiasm, but having just been involved in 13 cups since 1980, I know that what a big, steep hill this is to climb.
It is.
Mountain to climb, in fact. That's on the ACP, the fact that there's not much clarity and a rather large void, but Magnus goes on to say, but we're into a new era, a new generation, and a whole new concept that is exciting beyond belief, Julia.
Well, I must say, if they did it and won, it would be exciting.
Well, of course it would be. It'd be exciting if Ben won. It'd be exciting if the Italians won. Anybody other than the Kiwis. I think we're all tired of the Kiwis winning it.
Yeah.
But they said that about New York, too, after 132 years. Good things, as the Guinness advert says, sometimes take time. That's Magnus the Magnificent writing on his Rule 69 blog today. And now, Julia, I commend this to you. I listened to it this morning, but our good friend and Fozy, Greg Norman, who does the Inside Great Lakes Sailing YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
He got Chris, and I debated whether to put Chris on this show, but I thought we ought to just let all of this settle out. And if he raises some money, if he gets a big backer, and this all gets announced, then I thought we'd invite him onto the show and he can tell us more. But Greg, who's out, he's now in the ski mode. He does a ski show all winter long, Inside Great Lakes Skiing. He's out in Colorado, and he got Chris on via Zoom, and they had an interview this morning, and then Greg posted it. It's on his YouTube channel. I'm not going to play it, but suffice to say, they went on for 20 minutes or so, and the one thing I gleaned out of is that Chris admitted, quote, "We do not have a principal backer at this point." Okay, fair enough. One hears from sources at Sewanaka Corinthian that they were a bit taken aback. They were surprised that Chris made this announcement now. They were rather expecting that a few more ducks would get lined up before this announcement was made. And there's even some people at Sewanaka who were raising their eyebrows about the Commodore's quote.
Yes.
But we know somehow, don't we, Claire and others, how sometimes Commodores get ahead of themselves or get out where their fellow trustees and board members and so on haven't necessarily authorized them. That's happened at Golden Gate Yacht Club. It's happened at St. Francis. It's happened at other clubs.
Yep.
So, look, I admire the guy's ambition a lot, and I admire Chris as a sailor. He's a great, cool guy. He's been on the show. But this is a hell of a big bite. Zach Maxim. Hi, Zach. Nice to see you on the show. I didn't know there was a Corinthian division. Thank you, Clark Chapin, for putting the link into Greg Norman's Inside Great Lakes Sailing in that particular interview. Ed Worley saying these AC yachts require an unbelievable amount of technical knowledge and expertise, indeed. Alistair Murray saying, I think Magnus has been hanging out with Stevie Morris. Greg Norman, who's on watching. Hello, Greg, and thanks again for the sending the link. And by the way, Greg does good work. And Julia, it's a good interview that Greg does. He asks good questions.
Yes.
He thought he'd been well prepared for it. It was a good piece of work.
Yes.
So, and poor old Chris there was a lot of hemming and hawing, and I know, and he's gotten maybe a little ahead of his skis out in front, but I think he's got to go public now if he has any chance of
that might be true.
Raising flag up the pole and getting some attention at this point. It'll be interesting to see if Chris can pull it off, but Greg Norman, for one, thinks that he can.
Well, that's good news.
Rick Banner says, ducks lined up, more like ducks plucked. Okay, I don't want to belabor it, but I do commend this interview to you. If you're interested at all in the America's Cup, if you're interested at all in Chris Poole and his ambitions here, go listen to Greg and Chris on that interview, Great Lakes Inside Great Lakes Sailing, on Greg's YouTube channel that was posted this morning. Okay, enough of the cup. I don't know if there's any other comments. Who is paying MTM? Steve Gruber says, well, we all know who's paying MTM. To raise $50 million by the end is one thing. How much money in the bank do you need to buy a boat? Well, you got to buy a boat. You got to redo the boat. No, Hugh Jones, Steve Gruber, is not Dyer Jones. Dyer Jones's full name is William H. Dyer Jones, and he is not Hugh Jones. I'm quite sure of that. Clay Embley is saying, yeah, I'm finding it easy to be skeptical. Well, again, it's a tough road to hoe. It's going to be. Yeah. This day in history, Julie, let's carry on. Now that we're on the cup, shall we? And what happened on this day in history on the 5th of December, 1456?
1456.
Cup related.
Oh, my goodness.
You want a clue?
Yep.
There's a clue.
Italia.
That is Italia. And what do those concentric circles indicate?
Earthquake.
Correct. You are so smart, but then I keep forgetting you went to Stanford. You went to Stanford, Julia.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get the earthquake, there was going to be another clue. And on December the 5th, 1456, the largest earthquake to occur on the Italian peninsula in historical times, in recorded history, I think that means, struck the Kingdom of Naples. The earthquake had an estimated moment magnitude of 7.19 to 7.4 and was centered near the town of Ponte. I need Margarita Marshall. Where is she when I need her? Ponte Landolfo in the present-day province of Benevento in southern Italy, earning a level 11 extreme on the modified Mercalli intensity scale. We got more scales than we know can shake a stick at. The earthquake caused widespread destruction in central and southern Italy. Estimates of the death toll range greatly, with up to 70,000 deaths reported. It was followed by two strong 7.0 and 6.0 earthquakes to the north on December 30th. The earthquake sequence is considered the largest in Italian history and one of the most studied.
They probably just figured out how to study it.
Well, that's what's happened. They've been studying it ever since, apparently. But that's what happened on this day in history, the 5th of December, 1456. Now, we haven't covered this very much because, the big one, I don't want to risk karma here, because they keep telling us each week that we're due for the big one. And we've had a big swarm of little quakes here lately, especially over in the East Bay.
Right.
And sooner or later, we know historically, the faults, the plate underneath the ocean, the North American plate, there's going to be some, I don't know if it's called subduction, what it's called, but there's going to be the big one here, right?
A big one.
A big one. Oh, not the big one. So I don't want to jinx things here. But earlier this year, they had a massive quake in Naples. And again, that was on the 13th of March, 2025. And of course, they've got this volcanic zone called Campi Flegrei. Lance Burke has been keeping me posted. He has become our earthquake and volcanic expert. I should probably check in with Mark Michelson too, because he is very knowledgeable. But that is just to the west of Naples. And of course, Campi Flegrei includes the area where they say they're going to base the boats, Julia. And again, Margarita Marshall understands all this in a big way. And that powerful earthquake shook Italy's Campi Flegrei in March. The seismic risks in Campi Flegrei, this from this In Trieste, the English language magazine, a vast volcanic area west of Naples and about 50 kilometers from Mount Vesuvius, is a highly active seismic zone. Though the last eruption occurred in 1538, earthquakes have been frequent since the 50s, with a surge in activity in the early 80s, and again of late. Scientists attribute the recent spike in tremors to bradyseism. That's a new word for me.
Me too.
A phenomenon caused by underground magma movement or hydrothermal activity leading to land uplift or descent. More than 500,000 people live in the region's high-risk red zone, and there are videos coming out daily about this and about practice evacuations and so on and so forth, including this one, which came out about 4 hours ago.
The floor of an ordinary living room grew so hot that it began to blister paint-cracked tiles and push sulfur crystals up through the concrete. This isn't a house fire. It's heat from one of the world's most dangerous supervolcanoes, Campi Flegrei, forcing its way into people's homes. For years, official reports said the risk was under control. Now walls are warping, pipes are bursting, and entire apartment blocks are being abandoned. If the danger was underestimated here, what else is rising unseen beneath these streets? From the air, the Bay of Naples looks like a postcard. Ferries cut white trails across the water. Cruise ships sit at anchor, and pastel buildings climb the hills around the harbor. What most visitors never see is that just west of Naples, beyond the postcard skyline, the ground itself is a volcano, a vast, low caldera called Campi Flegrei, the Burning Fields. There is no dramatic cone, no single summit. Instead, craters, fumaroles, and hot springs are scattered between apartment blocks, highways, football fields, and shopping streets. The caldera is roughly 13 kilometers across. Inside its rim live hundreds of thousands of people in towns like Pozzuoli, Agnano, and Bagnoli, with the city of Naples pressing right up against its eastern edge. Streets, schools, and hospitals are literally built on the remains of past eruptions. In some places, the sea laps at the broken edge of old craters. In others, apartment towers stand where ancient lava once flowed. This is not wilderness. It is one of the most densely populated volcanic regions on Earth. Campi Flegrei earned its reputation long before modern cities existed. About 39,000 years ago, a colossal eruption blew out a huge volume of rock and ash, collapsing the ground into the sagging bowl that people now live in. Ash from that event fell across much of Europe and the eastern Mediterranean. Since then, dozens of smaller eruptions have punched their way through the weakened crust. In 1538, a brand new hill called Monte Nuovo rose in just a few days as fountains of ash and lava buried fields and villages. Historic accounts describe darkness at noon choking ash and homes cracking apart as the ground lifted and split. Even in quieter centuries, the caldera has never been truly still. The ground here rises and falls in slow pulses, a phenomenon known as bradyseism. In the 1980s, the center of Pozzuoli lifted more than a meter, cracking roads, warping docks, and forcing the evacuation of tens of thousands of residents. When the uplift eased, some people moved back, but not everyone. To this day, abandoned buildings and fenced-off lots are scattered among renovated blocks, physical reminders that the land underfoot can move without warning. Now, a new kind of unrest is creeping to the surface. In certain districts, pavements are warm even in winter. Thin curls of steam seep from drains and cracks. At vents like Pisciarelli and Solfatara pools boil and hiss, and yellow sulfur crusts grow thicker on the rocks each year. In some houses, residents have watched the same yellow and white crusts crawl up their walls and floors, turning their living rooms into unintentional laboratories. What used to be a distant geological story has become a problem inside people's homes. It is here in this crowded, restless landscape of flats, cafes, and fumaroles that the current crisis is unfolding. A supervolcano that once reshaped continents is now expressing itself in the most intimate way possible through the temperature of a child's bedroom floor, the crack in a kitchen tile, the quiet decision of a family to pack their belongings and never return. If this were just a landscape of hot springs and steam.
Okay, you get the idea. This goes on for something like 25 minutes, this video. And yeah, who knows if it's going to happen anytime soon. It could happen in the next hour. It could happen not for another
century.
Well, 1,000 years, millennium.
Yeah,
it could,
yeah.
but again, I don't want. I don't want to risk causing the big one here.
Yeah.
The good news, Clay Embley says, the heating bill is next to nothing. Bad news, no house. That's not funny if this thing goes off. We're all doomed, Jonathan Frank says. Yeah, okay, well, I got to cover it because it's it's an issue. And yeah, it's astonishing how much news there is about this and the ongoing rehearsals, evacuation, practices and so on. And I'm not going to comment any more about the America's Cup being held there, but maybe the America's Cup maybe the gods will hold off on this until the America's Cup's over. So we'd have some good influence on them. But I like this Bradyseism. That was a good word, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Clay Embley's asking, I wonder if my ex-mother-in-law would go there for a free vacation. Here we go. Okay, enough of the America's Cup, enough on Naples. I think we're going to have to send Margarita Marshall over there, Margarita Bottini Marshall, as our intrepid reporter, investigative reporter, and have her look into all of this for us and give us a full report. Margarita, would you do that? Give us a full report. Any update on the polluted AC team base location? They're not going to end that. Margarita told us when she was on the show, they're not going to end up building those bases there. They don't have time. They got to do all that remediation of God knows what's in the soil there because of all the shipping, the shipworks and the other things, shipyards and so on that were there. Julia, our feature today is this terrific event going on in Brazil. This is going sooner than later, probably sooner, to be an Olympic event. My guess is 2032. The kite foils will replace, or these foils, wing foils, I should say, will replace the kites. And this is their world tour final event, the big showdown in Brazil, they're calling it, on these fantastic boats where at least the sail, if you can call it that, is also in the frame with the sailor, if you can call him or her that. The rider, as they say, the rider.
Yes.
The rider. And here is the latest video from that event down in the northeastern corner of Brazil.
Jerry, on the northeast coast of Brazil, is the sort of place that always puts a smile on your face. Consistent breeze, warm waters, and the magical eco-resort of Vila Calango make for a perfect backdrop to the season final at the WingFoil Racing World Cup Series.
For sure, it's going to be 5 days full of racing every single day, 6 racing per day, including the long distance, a golden ticket at the last day, and all the media series.
In the heart of the national park, this is the 4th time that Vila Calango has hosted the season finale.
My team and the riders coming here smiling, happy to come back to Jerry, is the best rewarding that we could have. They know that we'll have wind, which is a good starting point. And I believe that we manage them properly in terms of care, if you like.
The Seoul WingFoil Racing World Cup Brazil got underway with 4 long-distance races for the men's and women's fleets. It was a grueling day that tested fitness to the max, with riders having to constantly jump to clear seaweed from their foils. Karel Manowiecki, who won here last year, grabbed 3 impressive race wins that mean the pole leads the fleet overall. French rider Bastien Escoffier never finished outside the top 2 and covered a total of 60 kilometres on the water today, including his warm-up. Italy's Maddalena Spanu, who's expected to seal her 4th World Cup title here this week, has never won the Brazil event. The Sardinian won all 4 long-distance races. Vina Pico of France had some great starts and often led to the first mark, taking 3 second-place finishes. Her compatriot Kylie Belœuvre also impressed to finish the day 3rd overall. Qualification continues on day 2 as the men split into 2 fleets.
Julia, there's an idea for Olympic television. We should get John Emmett to go next time they go to that town. He has a town hall and he's there listening. He should put his hand up and say, hey, I got an idea. Let's spread kelp, seaweed, all over the race course so that people have to, at least on the wing foils, they have to jump to clear it. And that'll add another element to our event for television, for Olympic television, Julia. What a great version of our sport. Athletic and exciting. Couldn't agree more, Alistair. I do think this is a great discipline, great class. And they've got, 50 some odd boards from, 17 nations there for their final event. And remember, they've had a lot of other events that we've covered, the Europeans, the Worlds, the World and the European Juniors or Youths, whatever they call them, the Utes. My cousin Vinny. Mm-hmm. So we'll give you the results next Tuesday of that event, and hopefully they'll have another video out because you know how much I like Brazil, Julia.
Yes, I do.
And things Brazilian. Go to Sherman Island, Ed Vetrano, who's up in the Delta near Sherman Island. Go to Sherman Island in April and you'll see more wing foilers than kites. and windsurfers combined. It is simpler to carry and assemble than anything for recreational sailors. To say add nothing about being less expensive.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting how all over the world the wingfoils have taken over from kites, even here on San Francisco Bay, where we really helped start kiting, if not really got it off the ground, no pun intended.
She's being honored.
Back in the Heineken days.
Yeah, she's being honored this year.
Who is?
Our champion.
The St. Francis kiter.
Yeah.
Remember her name?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Julia.
It just wiped out. She's wonderful.
She is. Come on with it.
Murat, I know. Oh, sorry.
Okay. DM Daniela Moroz.
Moroz.
M-O-R-O-Z. Moroz in Espanol. Daniela, Tom Pace. This is nice to Commodore Pace. I saw him make a comment or two earlier down in Pensacola, Florida. Thank you, Commodore. Thank you, David James. Sort of the sailing version of the there's a joke. The Rider, R-I-D-E-R Cup. Oh, we got clever Fozzie on here. Okay. Brilliant, aren't they? Yeah, Gordon Smith agrees they're brilliant. Now I got a Fozzie Focus segment for you all. And I enjoy putting these together.
Yes.
And remember, I've invited, when we had the Singmeister Christmas card from the last show, Julia, invited everybody to send us their holiday cards, Christmas card, Hanukkah card, Kwanzaa card. I don't care what it is. Holiday greetings from Fozzie to the Fozzie. And this is not quite that, but we'll have more, no doubt, in ensuing shows, as we have the first one here. I teased at the top of the show. There is John K. Marshall, John Marshall, and Claire Harrington, Vice Commodore Claire Harrington, soon to be Commodore if she plays her cards right for another 6 days. Her induction as Commodore will be on the 11th, next Thursday in 44th Street, New York. But this photo, I thought it was a nice holiday-esque photo.
It is.
Now, what are the two of them doing? Shall I back off the lower third for you? What are they doing? You see that brown? See this?
Yeah.
What is that? It's a gun case.
Oh.
These two are out shooting.
Aha. Okay. All right.
They're out shooting as one does this time of year. You know,
That's
you're out
true.
shooting ducks or you're shooting whatever is legal to shoot.
Right.
In Michigan, they might be hunting for deer, Julia.
Yeah.
Deer hunting. You know, with a red and black cap, you know, with the big ear flaps. And do you know that in our high school in Michigan, on the first day of deer season,
nobody was there?
No, it was a holiday. They called, so many people were not there. They gave everybody the day off.
Yep. That's good.
Hunting season.
That's a great picture, though.
Yeah, Clayton Embley says they're going to whack someone. Shotgunning equipment, gun case, duck hunting. But I like Elmer Fudd hunting wabbits. So that's from Claire and John. And they went to a fancy hunting place, a hunting place. I don't know if it's Connecticut or someplace up in the Northeast. And most murders are done by family members.
Yes.
Edward Kreise in Detroit. Edward Kreise. Deer and pheasant in Michigan. This time of year. Okay. By the way, no show next Friday because we've got this big celebration for Paul Kayard that the club, that St. Francis is putting on. I booked us, by the way, last night, the two of us over there, got a reservation. And we're going to go over to the club Wednesday night, and then I am going to escape. I don't know how we're going to get you home. Somebody's got to get you home.
Yeah.
After that show on Friday, get you back to the Commodore Suite because I am going to book, I'm going to bolt.
Yes.
I'm going to skedaddle to SFO and fly at my advanced age. I'm going to fly on the red eye to New York.
That's all right. You can sleep the whole way.
If I had a lay flat seat, but I'm too poor to book on Delta a lay flat seat. So I will be sitting up. I can't take a melatonin in a glass of wine. I can only take a melatonin.
God.
I used to be able to take a melatonin in a glass of wine on those long flights to New Zealand.
Anyway, that's going to be a great adventure.
It is. And a lot of people are going there to celebrate Claire and her becoming Commodore of New York Yacht Club.
Yes.
So I'm going to fly Wednesday night, get there Thursday, attend the big function Thursday night, and then Friday morning I'm pleased to announce that Claire has agreed to sit an interview.
Oh, good.
And I was going to do the show live from New York Yacht Club, but I have to carry all the studio equipment back and set it up and worry about lighting and worry about an Ethernet connection and all that stuff. So I thought it would be better if we just sit Claire down, and she's agreed to do this, have a 10, 15-minute interview about her vision for the club for next year, her thoughts about our sport, and what it's like to be having been elected the first female Commodore of one of the most prestigious yacht clubs in the world. So no show next Friday, okay? No show next Friday because I'm going to be at her event, big event, at the annual meeting of New York Yacht Club. And then I'll play that interview on Tuesday's show.
Great.
Okay, we'll take the day off. Lance Burke says I can have his drink. Jonathan Frank, the United Airlines pilot, get to SFO early. Well, I'll get there as early as I can, but I'm going to bolt from here. Now, the next pictures in the Fosey Focus come from Mr. Doctor
Yes.
Andrew McIrvin. And on, I think it was Wednesday night, sometime earlier this week, I believe it was Wednesday, they had the Royal Thames 250th anniversary, not annual, that should be anniversary ball. There were fully 900 people there.
Wow.
At that grand celebration. There's the Commodore, there's Nina from Michigan who sails with Mr. Doctor. And get this prestigious yacht club and this super Fosey and amazing human being who's now president of the IRC.
Yes.
In his kilt in a Dodgem car. Everybody apparently went to a facility in London and they had a Dodgem car event.
Wearing a kilt.
Well, he's wearing a kilt on the occasion of the 250th anniversary of the Royal Thames Yacht Club. Does that look like fun?
No.
At first, I thought he'd maybe taken his pants off until I saw a note somewhere that he had his kilt on.
Yes.
Alan Long said, "Oh God, flying commercial." Yeah, well, you know. Doctor Who, Mr. Dr. Andrew McIrvin, and others at the Royal Thames. Now, a bit of broadcast feature here because speaking of Fosey, we've been talking about this in the last few shows and what a great job the Sail Media TV team does. And they're just now broadcasting again this, what's it called? The Cabbage Tree Island Race, which is a big boat race up the coast and back this time of year. And this team, however, is to be congratulated for all the effort they do, largely volunteer. And they have been doing, as we've reported here, the Sydney Harbor 18s, the 18-footer league, and they've been doing other stuff and doing it well. And Dolly DeVola sent a few photos last night. This is that camera cat they have. And this is where they do the drone flying. They do the whole thing from there. There is part of the team. You can see Dolly here in the back and Peter Shipway here. And bravo Zulu to them because they do a fabulous job. Dolly DeVola and co., the Sail Media team on the camera cat. And he sent me a note saying, we shoot drone, they launch and capture the drone from that boat, commentate and broadcast all from the one cat, and it's only a 4-second delay from what's going on live on the water to when you can watch it on YouTube.
That's fabulous.
It is fantastic.
I didn't know that was going on, but I do know that the pictures of the 12s, of the 18s.
For the 18s.
Have been really good.
Well, here's what they did the other day at the start of this Cabbage Tree Island race. This was live. The start, I believe it's from today, meaning today, Friday. It's Saturday down there now. 71 yachts, 172 nautical miles from Sydney to Port Stephens and back. And as I'm watching in the comments, Lance Burke and others of you are following that race. Who's almost back? One of the big boats is almost back, I believe. In any event, you'll see it in the comments. Maybe somebody else will put in as like Law Connect or one of the other 100. There's 300 footers in that race, Julia.
Oh.
And this is, again, the Sail Media team, Dolly DeVola, our super Fozy, and what a fabulous job they are doing. And again, the point is they're on the water.
Yes.
They're not in a sound booth someplace, hundreds of miles or thousands of miles away.
And they know what a sailboat is.
And that's what we've got to get the Olympics to do, because if you're not out on the water, you can't see what the hell is going on. Same with the Governor's Cup TV team, our esteemed group of volunteers down in Newport Beach. There's Chris Bretschker in the middle, who is our producer-director of the on-the-water coverage, one of our spotters. There is the esteemed Andy Rose on the right, one of the commentators aboard Adios, which is Chris Bretschker's parents' big gin palace that becomes our broadcast center for the Gov Cup and other events that we do. There's the commentary stand there in the back. That's where Chris sits right next to me and Andy. And we also, we get other people up there with us. And the drones are launched and retrieved. We have camera positions.
Yes.
We have the full enchilada there aboard that boat, Adios, and a team of volunteers, which are second to none. And it's like volunteerism. This is the theme of today's show, I guess.
Right.
Like the volunteerism that takes place on race committees. It is a privilege to be a part of this Gov Cup team. Everybody, not everybody, a lot of people want to join it, and we just don't have enough space. Chris Bretschker there in the lower right corner, just below me, does a superb job of recruiting people onto that team. And, of course, we have the Brit, Matt Whitfield, who is a co-commentator along with Andy and myself. He was a Gov Cup sailor, has moved to the States, and has joined the team and does a superb job as well. Volunteers, volunteer television, and I wish more clubs, and I hope more clubs, Julia, will do the same thing. We'll put together a volunteer TV team.
Right.
There's plenty of kids now that know how to do YouTube videos. I mean, if a couple of old farts like you and me can do 2 shows, approaching 900 shows now, 2 shows a week at 1080p, 1080p, 60 frames a second, and we have so far today dropped 0 frames, which is typical for these shows now. And I just think more clubs need to do the same as I scroll through the comments.
It's a good way to recruit juniors in.
Well, exactly. And it's the juniors who really know how to do it. Okay, Comanche and Law Connect finished. Scalawag is close. Wild Oats had main halyard issues. Lance Burke reports. Thank you for that. And that concludes our Fozy Focus for today, as we're about an hour and 18 minutes into today's show. And we now are pleased to bring you another AAAA, Alistair's Awesome Aussie Anecdote. And celebrating he is, and they are, not only the Taser class, their 50th anniversary, but celebrating Alistair, who's been there from the beginning.
Yes.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you to Neil and everybody that's helped organise tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic to be here. It's an honour to be able to close it out with a toast like this. I really think of my oldest friends and my youngest friends in the room, and my oldest friend is Neil Templey, who we sailed together against each other 55 years ago. That's how far we go back. And my youngest friend is Petra. But I'm 14 years old, who I sailed against at the Worlds at Sandringham, and I gave her a watch and she wears it and loves it, so I'm really proud. Just quickly before I propose to toast myself, the boat. So I was sailing in the late 70s, so I was sailing a Corsair, a big heavy thing, and I remember the Taser turning up at a regatta, and it was late 70s, it was 1977, and it was not a guy called Nigel Abbott was sailing it, and he he got alongside me on the start line and just blew me away. And I said, that thing is an absolute weapon. And at 20 years of age, I looked at that boat and I thought, that is the best, the highest tech, fastest boat I've ever seen, with a rotating mast. Think about it in the context of being in the 70s. Rotating mast, foam sandwich, light, wonderful, fully battened rig, and just went like a blur. And I thought, I've got to have one of those. I've just got to have one, because it was such a weapon in those days. So I bought one in 1978, and I've owned 9 of them since, and I'm still sailing competitively with my daughter, and I love the class so much. I mean, it's become such a huge part of my life. I've sailed with all of my wives. I've sailed with a couple of my children, and it's just my closest friends. And I just think about what an absolute amazing boat Frank Bethwaite designed. And so, like, you know, and it's still just as amazing. It's not the high-tech weapon it was, because the 29 and the 49 and the other things from Julian have come along, but what a great boat that's endured. So that's what I just want to say about the boat. And then secondly, about the people. So today I went to a foiling lab at Woollahra Sailing Club with Malcolm Page, who's the CEO of Australian Sailing. And he got up and he said, he looked at all the kids, and there was all these kids there, like 30 kids that were about to go foiling for the first time. And he said, take a look at the kid next to you and the kid across from you and the kid you're sailing with. You're sailing with them today. Look at them, because they will be your best friends in 50 years. These will become your friends for life. And that's what sailing does. Sailing gives you friends for life. And the Taser has given me friends for life. 50 years, in 3 years, I'll be with us for 50 years. I look at this room and I see friends for life. And that's the Taser community. I think it's absolutely amazing and wonderful. So I'd like you all to charge your glasses, and I'd like to propose a toast. It's really, I guess there's three elements to the toast, right? One is to the Taser itself, the other is to Frank, and the other is to the Taser community, which is all of you. So to the Taser, to Frank, and the Taser community. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
That's Frank Bethwaite, the designer of the boat. And is Alistair special or what, Julia?
Oh my gosh.
Huh?
Yes.
Just
Different.
unbelievable moment. And he's so right. I mean, that's Alistair. That's how the video ends. But he's so right.
Yes, and he does the whole thing so effortlessly. And it's perfect.
Perfect. And that's right. You make friends for life. And that's, in fact, I wish we'd started this 55 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we didn't have the technology to do that.
No.
But whoever takes this over, when you and I pack it in, somebody will. We'll turn Sailing Illustrated over to somebody.
Yeah.
And they'll keep it going. And instead of Alistair, he'll eventually move on. And John will stay on for a while, no doubt. And others will contribute. Ed Worley, who's been a major contributor. Clark Chapin, who's been a huge help.
Yeah.
And as Alan Long says, it was a great speech by Alistair. Thank you for this. Tom Fishbeck, cheers.
Yes.
And that is what our beautiful sport is all about. Alistair's awesome Aussie anecdote for today. The Royal Naval Band of Australia playing
Your favorite song.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Whenever we do a sing-along,
Yeah.
even after, over at the bar at St. Francis, when we do that in a couple weeks, we do our, after the Christmas night, Christmas party, the members party. And we've exhausted all the Christmas carols, and then we swing into
Waltzing Matilda.
all the old campfire sing-along songs like Waltzing Matilda.
Yeah.
Alistair's awesome Aussie anecdote. Thanks again, Alistair. Clark Chapin says, it reminds me of a comment that Skip Dyball, or D-Ball, if it's the proper German pronunciation, is a great sailor in the Great Lakes area. He's a sailmaker. He said, it's a comment that Skip made during the opening banquet of the IL Interlake Yachting Association, the ILY Junior Bay Week, which is the association of clubs around the Great Lakes, around Lake Erie in particular. take a look around the room, kids. If this year is typical, a few of you will end up married to each other. The kids were stunned. Clark, that's fabulous. And it's true.
Oh, yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Alistair is such a rock star. Another wonderful A. Thanks, Alistair. Skip is a great guy as well. Alan Long is a great. That gets us to the last leg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's an upwind leg or a downwind leg, or it looks like from that painting, it looks like it's a reaching leg, Julia, the last leg.
Mm-hmm.
The last leg to Gloucester.
Yes.
By Thomas Hoyne. And again, this is this new it's not new, it's 2-3 years old, but it's now available on YouTube free of charge. And that, of course, is the Melgus film, The Wizard of Zenda. I played this trailer before, and probably 2 years ago, but I'll play it again in honor of the producers, in honor of Buddy and his family, because it's just come out. It's just now available free of charge. They've gone around to the yacht clubs here and maybe outside the country as well, played this documentary, raised money for junior sailing programs and so on. And now it's available free, as Clark Chapin, I believe, put the link in the chat earlier on. But I commend it to you, and here is the trailer, 2.5-minute trailer for this fabulous hour and 23-minute documentary on Buddy.
He's a tremendous competitor.
Take the ball up right now.
Very fierce. Always on the attack.
If I'm going out, I'm going around the buoys and try to beat up on somebody else.
I mean, he's as tough as nails.
Buddy could do anything he wants. He's just that kind of talent.
He was indeed a superb sailor.
And I remember him slamming his fist on the deck and saying, "Damn it, I want this place."
There aren't a lot of sailors who have won the number of national and international championships that Buddy Melgus has.
I went off and sailed other classes just to test myself against the best sailors in the world.
Buddy gets into the Olympics in '72, and Buddy crushed him.
Just sailed the hell out of the boat, beat him like a borrowed mule. Absolutely masterful, convincing victory.
But there was an item that was still on Buddy's list, even though he wouldn't say it publicly, that was even bigger, the America's Cup. And to coming out of a little tiny lake like Lake Geneva, how could he possibly compete?
We were stumbling along, and all of a sudden, Bill Koch's name came to pass.
Bill is a MIT PhD, vast fortune.
I say boats, Peter's science, sailing is an art. Buddy was the artist.
The Leonardo da Vinci of sailing.
The combination of the brilliance of Buddy Melgus and the technology of Bill Koch together, the art and science of sailing, it worked.
You gotta turn around and look at this.
We're always learning from his.
The time that we spent together, he was always teaching me something.
Buddy is doing this at a higher level than anybody else.
He's got you call it a sixth sense.
And he's always 3 or 4 moves ahead.
And then he knew the wind had shifted. Off he goes, wham.
Buddy Melgus, in my view, is one of the greatest sailors of our age, by far.
He's the greatest sailor that the United States has ever produced.
I've sailed with all the best names in the sport. And Buddy's a cut above.
There's the trailer. And if Clark or somebody doesn't mind putting the link again in the chat, I'm sure everybody would appreciate that. And I've watched it all hour and whatever it is, 23 minutes. And Julia, it's a fabulous. We should probably have a Beach Street Yacht Club party here and just play it and invite people over and watch it. I mean, but you can watch it in your own time now on YouTube. It's free. Alistair Murray, I'm really looking forward to watching this movie. Ed Worley, no navel gazing with Buddy, indeed. There was Bill Allen was in that. Bill crewed with Bill Benson. The two of them crewed in the Soling when Buddy won his first gold medal, and Bill Allen watches his show regularly. He's been a big supporter from early days of Sailing Illustrated. Bill, I hope if you're watching now, thanks again for your support. And Julia, we are to your favorite segment.
Yes.
The D Block. Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. Get your finger ready.
Uh-oh. Okay.
First one's clean.
All right.
It's better to be the oldest on the sailboat, you're going to like this, than the youngest at a nursing home.
You bet.
Right?
Yep.
Julia, you said you're never going to leave the Commodore's suite except feet first.
That's correct.
Right?
Right.
You're never going to go to a nursing home, and we're going to make that happen.
Yep.
Keep it up. But because it's better to be the oldest on a sailboat or an oldest at the Beach Street Yacht Club than the youngest at a nursing home.
No question.
Thanks to Ed Worley for that. Julia, my late great mother, I dedicate this to her. This was one of her favorite sayings.
Oh, yeah.
And several people sent it to me and said that people were watching the same cartoon Facebook pages, I guess. No woman has ever shot a man while he was washing. While he was washing the dishes.
I assure you that's undoubtedly true.
Exactly. I don't mind washing the dishes.
I know.
I hate to cook, and I'm a lousy cook, so I'm happy to wash.
It's a hot deal.
I'm happy to wash the dishes. Now, Julia, get your finger ready.
Okay.
It's a good one.
A man is in his final moments of life and asks his wife of 50 years, Martha, soon I'll be gone and there's something I have to know. In all of these 50 years of marriage, have you ever been unfaithful to me? Martha replied, well, Henry, I have to be honest with you. Yes, I've been unfaithful 3 times during these 50 years, but it's always been for a good reason. Henry was obviously hurt by his wife's confession, but he said, you know what? I never suspected, but can you do me a good and tell me what you mean by good reasons? Martha says, well, the first time was shortly after we were married and we were about to lose our house because we couldn't pay the mortgage. Do you remember that one evening we went to see the banker and the next day he notified you that your loan would be extended? Henry recalled the visit to the banker and said, I can forgive you for that. You saved our home. But what about the second time? Martha said, and do you remember when you were sick but we didn't have the money to pay for your heart surgery that you needed? Well, I went to see your doctor one night and if you recall, he did that surgery at no charge. I recall that, said Henry, and you did it to save my life. So, of course, I can forgive you for that. How about the third time? Martha said, do you remember when you ran for president of your golf club and you needed 17 more votes?
That's a great joke. It's got to be rewritten. Remember when you were running for Commodore of your yacht club and you needed 17 more votes?
Yeah.
That's clean. That doesn't deserve a finger wag, right?
No,
or does
not
it?
really.
Huh? This guy has a channel, and he and his buddy, with this, high quality equipment, they record these jokes day after day after day, more than one per day sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I guess he's a Brit. I don't know his accent, but it was great stuff. Pedro Foiling Sailor back on Buddy Malgus. I was staying with Buddy and Gloria for 2 weeks in their garage loft. It was special for me. Missing Buddy, R.I.P. Indeed. Okay, that's an anonymous. That one came through. Somebody sent it to me, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to run it. It's funny. And that gets us to the end. All the smartest people sail.
Indeed.
And that is from Blake Middleton. As always, we end the show with that. Speaking of scows here at the finish line, Julia, you like to say...
Yes. Make everybody proud. Like, follow, and share all 3 the program today.
And comments are welcome, even in replay. Many of you watch it in replay. We appreciate your support as well as we do those who give us a few bucks each month. I got the Patreon today.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, so I it's not going to feed me. It's not going to buy any food here at the Beach Street Yacht Club. But, I might buy a little new piece of equipment so we can do an even better job streaming from Studio B, from the control room here. And we appreciate very much your support via patreon.com/join/Sailing Illustrated. We also appreciate those who give us audio, video, and images for the show, this show, and every show. Julia, final thoughts?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to get in the middle of all the Fosey.
Get in the middle of the Fosey. They're a little warm down there in Sydney. If they would send us some of that, blow it up here, because it's bloody cold here.
Yeah, it's in the 40s today here, and
The people from Michigan and Minnesota and
I
the
know,
Northeast are going, oh, the 40s.
Yeah, I know. But that's
10 degrees Celsius. Big effing deal. It's cold here, and it's damp.
Mhm.
And for us, that's a little much. Hey, thanks, everybody. Again, no show next Friday, but we will be back at it next Tuesday at our normal time on the normal channels. We hope you can join us then. In the meantime, have a great weekend wherever in the world you are, and go sailing. And if you do, sail fast, sail safe, and have fun. Ciao for now.